Don't hold that against me. I told my wife, I said all my bees will come out and they'll be singing Trump 2024.
Oh God. There's one swarming around my head right now.
All right, it's March 22nd, and about 10 o'clock in the morning. Kind of cool here this morning, down in the 30s. It's warmed up in the mid 60s now, so we're gonna go through and do our inspections and continue that cell building. Kind of got sidetracked and delayed on that. Had some stuff come up and just wasn't able to get it done, and it probably worked out for the best. It's cold as it is. We'd already had our cells and moved them over into nukes, and it might have been an issue, but might not have been. But anyway, we'll get you some footage of that. We'll be doing the hive inspections and then finishing our cell builders today. Okay, this is hive number 1. This one wasn't bad last time. It certainly wasn't the strongest that we've got. But, oh yeah, this frame's feeling kind of a little weight to it. Pollen, nectars, or syrup. Straighten that out. Yeah, they're bringing in pollen. More nectar and like I said, probably sugar syrup. You know, if I were my goal was to make honey, then I would have already laid off of that sugar syrup, because they've got some nectar coming in, but I'm trying to make bees here. Got some of this polished out to put eggs in, but I don't see none. Let me fix this while I'm here. All right, there's a lot of kelp brood. Pollen and drone brood. Let's see if we can straighten this out. Y'all get out of the way. Good frame of brood, kelp brood. Shake this off. I'll fix this right here. All right. That's that box. Let's go to the next one. All right, hive 1, box number 2. We'll look down here, just see what we see. A lot of bees. I just seen the queen. Maybe I did. Get you. your head down. Get out of the way. This out, see what we got. Pollen. Nothing. Queen cell there. See what we're gonna do. We're gonna look for the queen on this frame here, and if she ain't on here, we're gonna put this over in the nuke, make us a colony. Little 2 frame I got over here. Exactly what they got going on there, and there is one in there. So, okay, what I did, I got some 2 frame nuke boxes. And they do real good. I use them for really mating nukes, but this time of year, it's the worst of the cold weather's past us. You can put two frames of bees in there with a queen cell, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine, and we're gonna let them raise, and that'll be an extra colony. And that's what I do with a lot of the swarm cells that I find. If I find a frame that's got, it might have 5, 6, or 10 swarm cells on it. If I can cut them off, the negative with the plastic frames, they can be hard to get off of theirs. But most often, they say there's 3 or 4 on there, I'll move it over and knock all of them down, but maybe 2, and make a new colony. Okay, this will be hive number 2, and we knocked it down to a single story. It was weak. Let's check and see how they're doing. He got me. He got me. Y'all so mean. I thought I could go without my gloves today. Bringing you sugar water. Y'all stinging me. Putting that syrup up. Nectar or syrup. Same there. Alright, a lot of open larvae there. Cap brood. Show me a few eggs and I'll leave this one alone. I'm gonna put some more feed on them, but they still ain't. I think they're looking better, but they're still not where we want them to be. This may be it. Larva. Capped. Move over one more then. It's so dark I can't tell if these eggs back in it or not. I don't see no queen cell. Guess they're gonna make me chase this one all the way out. Oh yeah, I'm seeing eggs on this one. You get old, it's tough being getting old, you can't see. Right, that's good enough. She's in here. And if they don't pick up, when we make us a few queens, we'll replace her. Trying to sting me. Trying to sting me. Alright, make her seal. Right there. I'll be right back. Let me get me a bag of feed. They just sound like they defensive, and that would be a candidate for me to requeen. See if we can calm them down. They ain't real stingy, but could just be because they're small and they're defensive. All right. Well, that's number 2. We'll go down to number 3 next and look at it. All right, this is number 3. It don't look too promising. Don't see any activity. Let's open it up and see. Yeah, there's some bees in there. Just real weak. Get this out of here. There's a few bees in here, and they ain't roaring like the queens. All right, a lot of that syrup. Let's see how our queens are doing. Need to get your heads out of the way before you get mashed. Pollen and some nectar / syrup. There's some cap brood there. I see some open larvae. A lot of cap brood here. It's surrounded by larvae. Don't see the queen, but they've had one. There's a queen cub. Yeah, they replaced her. I'm gonna let them replace her. Something wrong with her. Like I said, you buy these newts, you just gotta be careful where you get them, because you know, it's a business, especially somebody doing it for a living. They trying to turn them out fast as they can. A lot of times the queens ain't mated good. I know I bought 5, I guess it was, and I come out here 2 days later and there was a swarm hanging on that fence right there. And you know, I think it was one of my nukes, but anyway, here's what it is. Hey, I caught it, so I had an extra eye. All right, let me grab them some feed. Y'all get out the way. I'm gonna feed you. All right. All right. 1, 2, 3. That's number 3. All right, this is hive number 4. It's got a little more activity. I gotta be careful not to knock my new nuke over here. Smoke them a little bit. Let's see what it is. Yeah, this one's pretty weak too. They roaring like they ain't got a queen. We will see. Nectar syrup. Man, there is some mighty small larvae in here. So something's been laying. Like it's got brood in it. And it does. Yep, all ages here. Oh yeah, this one's laid up. This one's laid up. So, take care. I could have done it. You don't need to split your brood nest. You know, if you do, if you're gonna add an empty frame, 2 frames of brood. You don't put one by itself, because they'll abandon it. That might be the one I just picked up, put back down. There it is. So, if I did that, that's my bad. Oh yes. Yeah, this one's gonna be alright. If I get that brood hatched out. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. She just ain't got no workforce. That's, he got down a little low for whatever reason. Probably beekeeper error. Trying to stay in, trying to hit. Don't do this. And we're gonna get them some feed. Okay, this will be hive number 4, and this is one of our stronger colonies. We set it up to be a cell builder, but like I said, my plans got delayed. I had some stuff at work, and I wasn't able to get to it. So basically, what we did last time, we reversed our top and bottom, and then what was now going to be the top, we shook every bee down into this bottom box. And I was looking for the queen while I went, but we didn't see her on this one. And so once we did that, we put our queen excluder, and I made sure that I put a couple of frames of open larvae up here. That'll draw you nurse bees. I learned this the hard way. I thought, well, I had a single story and I didn't want my queen laying in my honey. So I just threw the queen excluder on it, put my next box on. Well, that thing sat there, all that hive swarmed out. They never came up in this top box. And so you're gonna have to encourage them to go past that queen excluder. And that brood will do it. And that queen excluder is a very valuable tool. You could because this colony still thinks they're queen right, but the queen can't come up. You could fill this up with open larvae. Them nurse bees is gonna come up. They'll work it and cap it, still thinking they're queenless. Well, when you get ready to make your splits, you come out here and grab 2 or 3 frames of it. You know your queen's not in it, and you know it's nurse bees because they're up here tending to it. You know, that's one application. But anyway, so that's what we did last time. Reversed them, shook all the bees in the bottom, 2 or 3 frames of open brood in the top, queen excluder between them. We know our queen's in the bottom. I mean, it's possible she ain't, but it's not likely. So, and then the idea was to come back and use a double screen board or a cloak board, you know, the next day or two, and put between them and use this as a cell builder and a cell finisher. But that didn't work out that way, so we really gonna be starting over. I'm gonna go in here and look and see what I got up top and try to get set up for that and just start over. So you be careful about leaving. Well, you know, it don't hurt nothing. You leave it on there if you want to. The feeder shim, but what they'll do is they get strong, they'll fill all that up with comb. I left it on there with the intention that when I made this a cell builder, I was going to feed them. So that was going to take place in a couple of days, and it didn't. So it won't surprise me on that next colony, because it was busting, that they will have packed that full of honey. And drawing it out, storing a little bit of honey there. You know, if that queen's not up here, there's not going to be any eggs. You know, as long as it's been, there probably won't be much cap larva left. So, and that's what I'm finding. All these cells are empty, and they just hadn't got around to filling them with honey yet. There's a little bit of that. Now that was probably one of those frames of open larvae I put in, and they've capped it since then. Drone hatched out, and he's trapped now. That's one thing about a queen excluder, it traps your drones too. So I'm not seeing any larvae or any eggs around this. So that's a good sign for knowing that our queen is down below. Yeah. This one's still set up. It's still got nurse bees. It wouldn't hurt when I get ready to do my grouse, which it's looking like now that may be next weekend. I've got obligations I've got to meet today, and then I usually get a 3-day weekend. It didn't work out that way this time, but anyway, it is what it is. And, this ain't my only living, so matter of fact, this is a small part of it, so I gotta put the priority on the other. So I'm gonna leave this one as is. I'm not going to put the feeder shit back on it. They don't need feeding. Okay, this is hive number 6. And, boy, this thing was a monster. I mean, it was busting. And same deal, I've reversed them. Took the box I was going to put on top, shook every bee into the bottom, put my queen excluder on, made sure I had a few frames of open brood in the top above the queen excluder. And then we had stopped filming. We didn't get this on film. I wished I would have, because it was very interesting. I mean, the bees were just everywhere out here. Of course, I tried to get them all in. And then, of course, you get your top box on, and they can't get in that way. So even if the queen's out, and something to be leery of or be aware of, when you shake those bees down and you hadn't found your queen, it is a danger that you're going to shake her out on the ground. So anyway, this thing's covered up with bees. And I don't know what made me come down here and watch. We'd already put our filming equipment up. And that queen was crawling around right here on the top. Well, I called her and marked her. And I've heard of this happening. It's the first time I ever saw it. And I got back over here and I laid her down at the front entrance here, kind of just inside of it. She's dead. And you can mash them when you mark them. But I had seen a video maybe a week before that. I don't, just happened to be that way. And the guy was saying, if you mark your queen and it kills her, she may not be dead. She may have fainted. And so I laid her down where the bees. I actually put her on my hand, stuck my hand up to the entrance, and bees come out and got on her. They started tending to her. Well, I mean, this went on for 10 minutes at least, and to the point that I said, well, she didn't faint. I've killed her. And I mean, you hate that when that happens, but it does happen. And but at about the 10, 11 minute mark, her bottom went to throbbing, and it took about 5 more minutes before she came to, and she walked out around, and I stuck my hand in the entrance, and she walked right off my finger and went right into the hive. I hope I didn't hurt her in any way. I don't know, there's good reasons not to mark. A lot of people don't mark their queens. I've always liked to mark mine. It makes her easier to find, and I can kind of keep up with, if she's this year's queen, last year, whatever, 2 years ago. And but anyway, I wished I'd have got that on film. But this is number 6, and we're gonna get into it. Where y'all can see it. I'm talking about this thing busting with bees. They out of room. Bad out of room. But that's what you want in a cell builder. I'm gonna go ahead and set this one up so you can see it. We'll have some footage of that. I don't know that I'm gonna get to do my graphs today, but you can set this up. Your open brood does not have to come out of this hive. So when I do get ready to get my nurse bees up through the queen excluder, I'll just grab them from another hive, shake the bees off of it, put my open brood over. I'm just using it for a lure to get them to come up. And then with that cloak board, we'll make a separate colony. And so I'll go ahead and set it up, but it's probably going to be next weekend before I can do my grafting. I don't really need to know what's up here, because the queen walked off of my hand into the entrance. And so I know she's in the bottom, and there was no way she could come up here. So, but I am going to have to separate my boxes to do what I'm fixing to do. So. So I'm going to try to do this without taking that queen excluder off. So here's what you do with a cloak board anyway. Double screen board, a little different, but well, A lot of it's the same. The advantage to me of the Cloake board is that, you know, the double screen divider board's good, and I've used them before I ever used a Cloake board. But the advantage to me is that I don't have to come back and remove the Cloake board, where I do have to remove the double screen divider board when I get to a point I want to make it a finisher. So this is what we're going to do. If I'm strong enough, we're going to reverse the direction of this. And you know what? I'm not going to do that today. That's going to make my top box so full. So we're going to leave it as it is. But normally, if I was going to graft, I could do this afternoon. I could reverse this and point it out the back. I could put my Cloake board on with the entrance out the front, set my top box on it, leave the partition out of the Cloake board, and all my field bees leave out and they go forwards and they come back in. They can't get in over here because the entrance is to the back. And so they'll work their way and they'll figure out to go in the top, and that fills your top, and that's what you want for a cell builder. You want it busted. But there's no need to do that today. I am going to put my Cloake board on, and I will get this off. And it just means when I do come back and get ready, I'll have to reverse this. And, you know, it can be done without reversing it, but I always reverse it. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, this is my Cloake board. I just took and this ain't my idea. I copied it off somebody else, but it was a good idea. I bought me a 8 frame. I use 8 frame equipment, wood bound queen excluder, and I cut me some boards to put on it. I think there was an inch, about 3/4, just whatever I had. I put me a rabbit on the inside to make a channel for this, and so it just slides in and out. And don't hold that against me. I told my wife, I said, all my bees will come out and they'll be singing Trump 2024. But you just got to have something to be a partition, and that's what I had. So that's what I used, just a queen excluder. And then, so that goes on, and I'll have frames of cow brood, a couple of them above it, then I get my nurse bees to come up and tend to that. And then when I get ready to make it queenless, so they'll raise queens, up to that point, they're still queen right. They got a queen in the bottom under this. I'll slide this right in there, and they'll be queenless. 8-10 hours later, the next day, even a couple of days later. You know, if you waited, let's just say you put frames of brood up, and some of it had eggs in it. If you waited 3 or 4 days, all the brood in that upper portion above this would be too old for them to make queens. So you open it up, go through it meticulously, cut all the queen. Now they're hopelessly queenless. You don't have to wait, but that's another option. You can about, you know, within 8 or 10 hours of making it queenless, go ahead and go in it. You might want to pull your brood out, shake the bees off of it, and put you a frame of pollen up next to your grafts and a frame of honey, and drop them in the middle, scoot everything up next to it, and then they don't have anything up there to work with but your grafts. So either way, the idea is they don't have anything to make a queen out of but your grafts. So all right, that's the Cloake board. All right, we're back. We're gonna put this wood bound queen excluder over the top with my channels, so my partition will slide in it when we get ready. And this is a little larger than, it's okay. There's so many different, there's no standard measurement really for an 8 frame. And so we got a queen excluder, a queen still down there. And when we get ready to make the top box queenless to put our grafts in, what we got to do is this right here. Make America great again. And then we slip our grafts in there, and you know, 8 or so hours, they're gonna realize they're queenless, probably sooner than that. And if you ain't got no more brood up there, if you remove that when you put your grafts in, then they'll just work on that. Either way, they're gonna try to start making queen cells. But for now, what we're gonna do is this, and it's got an entrance to the front, so all the bees up here can get out if they need to. Gonna heft this up here. All right. So let's start. We'll cut that out. All right. Well, that winds up what we're gonna do today, and next week I plan on getting in here. Friday I'd be off if it works out, and I'll find me a frame of brood or two. Come in here, remove a frame or two out of there, put that brood in there, and give them, you know, half a day, and then a little while, a couple hours anyway, to get the nurse bees to come up, because there won't be any brood up here until I do that. They'll come up, and they do. 3 or 4 hours later, I'll come in here and stick my partition in and make this box queenless, with this one having the queen in it, the bottom one having the queen in it, and then we'll remove that brood that late that evening. I'll probably. This works good because you can actually, you know, be gentle and move your grafting material over here and let that serve as your brood frame. You know, so you got your box full, you got the frame you're gonna graft out of here, and then when you get ready to graft, just go pull it out and graft. Leave that empty spot, put your graft frame right back in there, and after a couple days, come check your take, and hope that everything's good. You know, you got what you're looking for, and you can come pull your divider out, and that's a queen right finisher. So that's the plan, and appreciate y'all coming along. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe, and do all that good stuff. And we hope to be giving you some educational and informative stuff that'll be a help to you. That's what we're trying to do, and we're learning as we go. So hope you'll keep that in mind. Overlook, you know, our mistakes and mess ups, and watch it, our bee business as it grows. So appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.